Hello everyone, this video is in continuation to our videos on biomolecules. In our previous video we have completed the carbohydrates, micromolecules. In this video we are going to start with the next micromolecule, that is amino acids. These amino acids are now going to further form proteins when we will talk about macromolecules. Herein we are going to talk about micro. Watch the video till the end. In the end you will get all the important structure, even how they are made on the board. You can write it and jot down them for your notes. That's also a micro molecule which is going to form further proteins. Now there are hundreds of proteins in our body, and out of them amino acids in our body, out of them 20 are the ones which assist or which help in the process of protein synthesis. So 20 amino acids help in protein synthesis, or you can say are used in the process of protein synthesis out of those hundreds which are present in our body. Next we are going to talk about the structure. Now when we talk about the structure of amino acids, they are known as the derivatives of methane. They are known as methane derivatives. Methane derivatives. Why? First of all, we'll discuss it. Why? Methane derivatives, because if we see the structure of a methane, CH4, so it's like this. Fine? It makes the skeleton, but as and when we talk about the structure of amino acids, it has, now we'll make all these H's. It has these four. This forms the skeleton. This H remains as such. This H forms amino group, this H forms carboxylic group, and this H is a functional R group. Fine. So this comes out to be the structure of amino acid. Now what does it have? It has one amino group, it has one carboxyl group, and it has a hydrogen, plus it has an R group. This R is responsible for the names of different amino acids. It changes from one to other amino acid. This change in R group will give the amino acid a new name. We'll see these examples also a little later. So this is the R group or functional group. Here in this place CH2 can CH2, OH can join, only H can join. There are multiple structures which can join here to change the shape of amino acid or name also. So abhi ke liye we know that if we are talking about amino acid, it has an amino group, a carboxylic group, a hydrogen group, and it has an R functional group which keeps on changing. That will keep on changing. So that is why this is due to the reason of using the skeleton of methane. It is also known as methane derivative. So these are the various groups. Out of these two groups, now this is something important. Out of these two groups, functional groups present in amino acids, the amino group is always basic in nature, whereas carboxyl group is acidic. Fine, it's acidic in nature, carboxyl group, and the amino group is always basic in nature. Now talking about the classification of amino acids. Now there are two ways in which the amino acids are classified. The first is on the basis of number of amino group and carboxylic group. Now on the number of, if we'll count the number of amino and the carboxylic group, and then we will say whether they are acidic, basic, or neutral. So there are three conditions which come here. First scenario is, I'll use another color. So the first scenario is amino group is equal to carboxylic group. Second is amino group is more than number of amino groups present is more than carboxylic group, and the third scenario is that the number of amino group is less than the carboxylic group. Now what do we get here? In the first scenario, it's a neutral amino acid. In the second scenario, it is, what should it be? It is amino group which is more. Amino group is basic, so it should be basic in nature or basic amino acid. Last is, here carboxylic group is more, it is acidic, so it should be acidic amino acid. Now we'll write a few examples of the same. Neutral amino acid, if I say, the example are glycine and serine. Basic amino acid, if I say, lysine and arginine. Acidic amino acid, example, glutamic acid and aspartic acid. Fine. So these are the examples. So we have discussed the first method of classification or first classification, that is on the basis of number of amino and carboxylic group, that can be neutral, basic and acidic. Now is the second mode of classification, that is whether they are prepared in our body or not prepared in the body. So on the basis of preparation या secretion in the body. Fine. On these bases, they are categorized into three types. First, essential amino acids. Second, non-essential amino acids. And third, semi-essential amino acids. Now, essential amino acids are the ones which must be there in our diet, have to be present in diet because not formed in body. They are not formed in our body. They has to be present in our diet. Example is tryptophan and methionine. Fine. Essential. Non-essential amino acids. Non-essential amino acids are there which may or may not be present in our diet. May or may not be in diet as they are formed or produced by body. Produced by our body. Example of non-essential amino acids: aspartic acid and glutamic acid. Glutamic, aspartic. Fine. Semi-essential. What are semi-essential? The ones which are required only for a specific time span in our life, not throughout our life, but a specific time span of our life. That is, it should be present during lactation period and also during growth age of individual. These should be present in our diet, and these semi-essential amino acids, example is arginine. Fine. So this is the second classification: essential, non-essential and semi-essential amino acids. Now we are going to take a few, I'll just mark the board. We are going to take up a few examples of the addition of this functional R group. How do the what is the name given, or we will talk about a few structural formulas. So we have this carbon, we have the amino group here, carboxylic group is present here, H is present here, and we have the R here. If this R is removed and an H, I'll use another pen. If an H attaches itself here, is attached here, this forms glycine. This is the simplest of all amino acids. Next, we'll talk about one more structure. If suppose in place of this R, a methyl groups get attached. It forms the next structure, that is alanine. If in place of this R, CH2OH gets attached, it forms a serine. Fine, these are the three simplest amino acids where I have told you that when R group is replaced, they form these simplest amino acids here. But in amino acids, bonding also take place when the amino acids, they combine together to form proteins. How is that bond formed? We have in carbohydrates, we have seen that a glycosidic bond is formed. Here the bond name is different. So we'll make the structure again. We have a C here, NH2, and here we have the R group. Now this has to bond with another amino group. Now the bonding will always take place. Remember, a bonding will always, I'll write here, bond always forms. Bonds between amino group plus carboxyl group will always be between amino and carboxyl group. Now this is a carboxyl group, we have to have an amino group here. So we'll open it up. And R here and H here. Fine. So we have taken this NH here. Again, this will be released as water, forming a, which bond will form here? It's a protein, a peptide bond. Peptide bond will form here. So the bond formation is peptide by the release of this water molecule, and again they are going to bond here. So this kind of a bonding takes place in amino acids in order to form the proteins. So we have discussed the basic structure, methyl derivative condition, we have talked about the classification, and we have also discussed how these structures are formed. In our next video, we'll talk about a few examples of amino acids. So keep watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you.